Adele is just glad that he made it to the other side intact. He suffered some severe injuries and was fortunately rescued by the clinic before, but he did have to recover several more times before finally making it to the town of Minea. Oh, but the trip was arduous. Oh, looks like a little girl. The hat. Yes, I am. My name is Adol. Interesting. So she was looking for a traveling swordsman. But there would be no... Ah, I see. Well, thank you very much. I will do that. Adol finds children to be quite an exciting thing in the world. Something he's always admired about children, especially because he himself used to be so curious about everything, and he finds that aspect of children to be their most endearing quality. Pim. He owns a store here. Well, I'm not to judge on that sort of thing, but I'll keep your advice in mind. Indeed, I understand your point of view, of course. Adol is somewhat surprised at her very red appearance. She seems to have the color red as a trademark. And she introduces herself as Rhea, a poet in Tropidar. Apparently she's looking for a silver harmonica. Adol decides to keep this in mind as he continues to look around. She certainly has left an impression. As Adol was walking around, suddenly he noticed that the front door of the clinic burst wide open as Doctor came out and ran in his direction, claiming that there were patients to be seen. When he bumps into us, he introduces himself as Dr. Klaus, and strangely follows another young man north. Adol finds that behavior somewhat circumspect, but doesn't judge. Decides to go into the clinic himself. And talk to the nurse inside. The nurse Lisa tells Adol about all of the problems regarding the clinic and the monsters. Adol can certainly understand that, since he's had to use the clinic's services several times before he made it to this city. Looks like this clinic has a few healing items available. Adol ponders for a moment, but decides against it for the time being, even though he might desperately need it at some point. And leave. Looks like there's quite a few injured here. Adol inquires to the nurse if he has permission to see some of the guests, to which she responds that he may, but not to bother them too much, of course. Man dreaming about Picards. And the rebels are out there, too. Apparently look like wild dogs. Very curious behavior, then. Looks like there was a shield stolen from him. Well, Adol keeps that at the back of his mind as he now talks to someone else who's definitely injured from rebels. Adol can certainly understand what it's like to be stuck in bed for several days at a time, unable to move and unable to, well, do much. He certainly doesn't want to be put into that position anytime soon, but still wishes luck to those who must recover from their injuries or illnesses. Continuing his greeting of the neighbors as one of the few travelers on this island, he meets Julius and introduces himself. Another little girl warms the heart of Adol, of course. She talks, of course, about her old home and how sad it is. Oh, that must be the silver mine, or something close to it. Bats, huh? Such creatures have the ability to destroy a village. Seems unnatural for a bat. Well, hopefully they don't attack this town of Minea. Yes, I can see it from here, slightly at the very least. How tall is that tower? Indeed, the silver mine. I could use some equipment. Adol introduces himself to the armor shop owner, named Dios, and speaks to him about the nature of fighting, offense and defense. Adol admits that due to recent events that he could use some defensive gear. Indeed, it doesn't. Let's see. Let's see. How much does this cost? I certainly can't avoid that. Let's just get the chainmail. That should be helpful. And of course, shields are also useful. But we don't have quite the money to afford one. Almost. There we go. Now our defense matches our strength. That should be helpful. This chain mesh is really nice. Adol admires the chain shirt and thanks Dios for his services, and he hopes to work with him in the future. He then goes into the weapon shop, curious to meet the owner of this one as well, and finds Rossetti, He decides to talk to him about swordsmanship. Fortunately, Adol was given a short sword by the militia back in the port town. But he does admit that a long sword would be nice to have, but that he certainly has no money for it at this time. Adol enjoys talking to people and wonders what's going on regarding the events of the island. Let me just check my notes a second here. So yes, Dr. Bluto and Slaff, his son, who's a member of the militia. Oh, is this the old couple? Oh no, this is the mayor. Before Adol realizes it, he's speaking to the mayor of the city. He did not expect that, as he was expecting a very different outcome when he entered this house. The mayor, of course, tells him all about the monsters. But Minea is well protected by the walls. And there's a story about the walls from the mayor's wife. Yes, he still has some medicines available, whereas the doctor over in Port Town does not. I'll have to keep my ear open to that. I wonder who that mysterious man could be. Certainly much more news can be found here. Sarah? Is that the fortune teller? Adol thinks about that and wonders why the fortune teller would predict doom for the end of the world. It isn't always wise to say that out loud, as they say. Adol finds a child near the southern part of the village that tells him a story about the silver sword used to defeat monsters a long time ago. Adol wonders what this silver sword would be like. What would it be like to wield such a sword? And finally, the fortune teller. Sarah. It was her after all. I did indeed, yes, Sarah. And my name is Adol, by the way. I've heard from others that I was to meet you, and here I am. Get my equipment in order, huh? Well, you are correct that I lack a shield. I suppose I better get one of those before I try to find out more from what you have to say. Adol continues his tour of the town, asking the townsfolk as a bypasser to figure out what's going on. Barbado Port, and the storm wall still, of course, affects the town of Minea. That is true, there is no southern gate in the wall. It's not quite as easy to go south as it is to go north. And that is an unfortunate affair, for children grow best when they are free to roam where they will. Adol is saddened by this fact, and hopes that the children will someday be able to do such things again. Ah, So you were the one that she meant. And she likes her house. And it could be actually dangerous for her to come here, actually. So maybe it would be best that she stay there, at least for now. Adel meets another child by the name of Johan. Who complains, of course, about not being able to go outside. And Adel, unfortunately, gives him the bad news and convinces him not to risk his life. Oh yes, Pim. I've heard about you. People always seem to mention that about me. Adel remembers a time, for example, back in the other lands that he's traveled through, how people would comment about his red hair and say that they've never seen it before, or it's really rare, it's a common thing. $1,000 gold for the ring that he found. Well, you do have quite a few magical items, per your own testimony, of course. So, for now, I think I should believe you. You have no reason to lie to me as of now. I know you very little. I shall be back, perhaps, for the ring. Him already. You are the daughter of the mayor? Yes, I certainly understand. Oh, of the Zepik village, mayor. Oh. I was confused for a moment. Adel was wondering, what could he be hiding? He's in this village. And then remembers that this village is not named Zepik, but Minea. Adel has met a lot of new people these last few days. He hopes he can remember all of their names. He's having already a hard time remember the name of the doctor back at Barbada, Port Town. But he'll be visiting him again and reminding himself. Looks like I need to get some more money. So it looks like we've explored the town of Minea. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and cut here. Do some training off screen. And I'll come back to this spot later.